Georgios, you're an entrepreneur and the founder of Crowd Policy, and you've worked for the Greek government as a technological consultant for a number of years, actually advising them and helping them implement really some groundbreaking, cutting-edge open democracy platforms, which are way ahead of most countries in the world and certainly of England. So, how long did you work for the Greek government? Oh.
For 3 years. From the first government of Papandreou that took office before 5 years in 2001, 09.
What do you think was good and not so good about that referendum?
The good about the referendum is the opportunity for the Greek people to decide on their future. And this is something that in the modern democracies has to be, because, okay, Greece has born democracy, okay, theoretically was born in Greece, and Greece have to apply these rules for the people and transfer this concept at the European or global level. But on the other side, the question of the referendum was unclear, and it was about a decision that the central government have to be arranged by the central government and not to ask the people, because no one can decide on fiscal documents and other type of documents of 40 pages, and it's not easy for everyone if the question is not clear. If the question was clear, the clear question that should be written to the ballot paper have to be euro or not euro.
Okay, but the Greek people, I understand, are quite committed to being part.
So the Greek people are committed to stay in the Eurozone, but they have elected no. The majority of the Greek people want to stay in the Eurozone, over 70%.
Okay, so what's your reaction to the vote, to the no vote?
This was a democratic decision, even if the question was unclear. But this no vote had side effects, and the side effects on the economy, on the way that business and my businesses operate.
What sort of things are happening for you and your business? What sort of sufferings or difficulties are you actually?
To make the first difficulty is to make transaction abroad, and you have a general sad situation from customers, employees, and this create problems at every transaction or deal or business decision you have to make. We don't get paid by the public sector, where we have the 30% of our contracts, and that's create problems.
Okay. And for the employees, are they receiving money? Are they getting paid?
Yes, they're getting paid. Yes.
How? I mean, I think you mentioned earlier on that some of the companies, one of the easy routes they have to achieving fiscal stability is to fire people.
Is to fire people or to give unpaid holidays.
And so, if it's unpaid holidays, how are the Greek people managing with cash? Where are they getting the money from to pay rent, to pay food?
This is the most important problems. The most important problems. So, some of them may have money at their bank accounts, have relatives, or
okay, so savings, and either individually or within the family.
Yes.
How long will it take before this money is going to run out generally, and people will actually want to take more drastic action? All right. So, Georgios, who's to blame? Whose fault is this that this has all come to this point now?
The voters and the elite of politicians. The voters because they are electing the same problematic politicians, and the politicians because they are passing the bad attitude to the people.
So when you say they're transferring bad attitude to people, how do they do that? How does that work?
a minority of them, for example, can be corrupted, and the people says everyone is corrupted. Then I have not to pay taxes to these corrupted people, and this chain of problems and attitude creates the big problem.
So are you saying that it's direct corruption or indirect corruption? Are people actually, were the politicians actually stealing money? Or
No, in the indirect.
and
I think.
how does that actually work?
Through establishing, through making favors to voters, or
Okay, so are you saying that they would buy votes by implementing good policies, or are you saying that they would give the money to local authorities to employ lots of people, too many people?
they are using that both ways.
And would that perhaps have contributed to the local authorities and the public services being inefficient? Are there any cuts that could be made to the Greek infrastructure without necessarily harming people?
Yes. If you have a tax-friendly environment, or a business-friendly environment, or to collect taxes from the richest, and from not the people that have a lot of problems, there are. I think there have to be a mix of measures that would not harness the people that has financial problems.
Okay. Now, you mentioned the older politicians having this poor attitude which has trickled down through the nation, through the people. Is there any hope for Greece? Is there a new breed of younger politician who have a better attitude?
The younger politicians have a better attitude because are more responsive. They are using technology to communicate. They are on social media. They are replying to the voters online. So they are establishing an improved attitude and way about politicians and voters, and how to communicate and and all this relationship to be more transparent.
There's a guy called Jeremy Rifkin who wrote a book called The Zero Marginal Cost of Society. And he talks about the Internet of Things, where you start to, and the collaborative commons, where people work together collaboratively, and you have this greater social cohesion because of this Internet of Things, this connectivity. It sounds as if your new younger politicians, and indeed people like you and many of the young Greek diaspora in the UK, are actually taking this, and then this is the way they live now. That they want to work collaboratively, they want to know what's going
Yes.
on, and they want to make common decisions for the good of people. Now that excites me, because some of the work that you've already done for Papandreou, and hopefully also for Cyprus next, will help facilitate this. And for me, it looks as if the infrastructure is there for a good future for Greece. What do you think?
I think there is a great chance from Greece to mobilize the Greek human capital that is consisted by new entrepreneurs, universities, R&D institutions, and all together can work to implement solutions that would make the Greek economy more extrovert, or by producing new products, and at the internal level, to make the public administration to be more decentralized through privatizations, or outsourcing of critical services.